How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map on Farming Simulator 25 for PC and Mac players only called Dedelow X4 In GDR. I'm going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, "Welcome to Dedelow in the 80s. This map is a living recreation of the town of Dedelow in the Uckermark region. The atmosphere of the map is primarily intended to be a journey back in time for young and old. Experience expansive fields, narrow roads, and the associated hurdles. Features: environment and color grading adjusted. 50 fields with a total area of 1,277 hectares. 13 farms, 4 large-scale operations, various sales stations, transport missions for additional income opportunities. I hope you enjoy the journey through time." This is a European map created by Hellraiser and is 361.24 megabytes to install. There are mods required for this map, and they are the GDR Bunker Silo by Hellraiser, the More Animals Husbandry Possible 64 by Modulature Farming Agency, Large Silo Pack by Rego G-Play, Salvage Hauls Package by Razak, Small Buildings Package by Bar T, Fertilizer Storage by Hellraiser, House in Old Style by, I think that's Zarni 317, Old Stable and Hen House Pack by Raider, PGR Office by Raider, Garage with Workshop by Raider, Diesel Tank by Raider, PGR Building Pack by Raider, Big Polish Garage by Raider, Old Way Station by Raider, Polish Garage by Raider, Old German Cellar by Hellraiser, PGR Building Pack by Didac96, Polish Brick House by Leo, Farm Building Set by Hellraiser, GDR Pig Barn by Hellraiser, and Small Garage with Workshop by Raider. And if we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out here in the center portion of the map, just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, actually. And it just dawned on me that I didn't actually show this off, so this is what the map actually looks like. And if we scroll over, you will see that we start out by owning farmlands number 45, 46, and 53. 45 is a wheat field, very large one, ready to harvest. 46 is a canola field, ready to harvest. And 53 is your starting farm, I guess? You'll understand why I'm kind of humming and hawing at the moment. You cannot buy all areas of the map, and field prices do vary, but they are pretty expensive because they're massive. $14 million for this one here. We got $258,000 for this one here. $861,000 for that one. We got $641,000, $1 million for that one. $387,000, $362,000, $559,000, $131,000, $646,000, $696,000. I mean, absolutely massive amounts of area to buy. $426,000. Get a little bit smaller here at $86,000. A little bit smaller still at $36,000, $30,000, $40,000. 53, even smaller at 16. So you do get a pretty good range of sizes of field to purchase. And even this small one here at 16,000, it's still almost 4 acres. It's over 4 acres. That's pretty good. It's pretty good for the size that you're getting there. We do not have any animal pens to start out with. Contracts are available on this map, and they are massive contracts because they are massive fields. This harvesting, $477,000 for this one here. The spraying here, $140,000. Holy smokes. There are no there's no production chains owned or available. Kinda. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a little bit. And over here under the statistics tab, we do have collectibles on this map, 5 of them to be precise. So if we take a look at mods specific to this map, we'll go back here and, to here. When we scroll down, go to Mods and DLCs tab, Dedelow X4 In GDR tab right there. So there are mods specific to this map, and we've got a couple of purchasable chairs. So on this map, there are a few chairs that you can actually sit down in. They're kind of strewn about the beginning of the map, so that's kind of an interesting little insertion onto the game. And if we take a look at the buy or build menu here, and we take a look under our buildings, there's nothing under sheds. Whoops. Nothing under silos, nothing under silo extensions, constructibles, containers, or tools. But we get to farmhouses. Now, when I was doing my initial walkthrough, I nearly did a spit take. I was taking a drink and going through this at once. You'll see why. Where'd it go? There it is. That's right. The Dedelow X4 In GDR mod down at the very bottom. This is a farmhouse. Let me zoom in. It's an outhouse. That's right. You can live in an outhouse. You can now understand why I almost ruined my whole computer when I was taking a drink. Anyways, whoops, if we go back. Under productions, we scroll down in factories. You'll see we do have a couple of productions here that are specific to this map. We got the bale crusher. We also have the feed steamer Forschritt E60. So it's a pig food maker and a bale crusher, which this one's actually interesting because you put straw in and you get straw and wheat out. So that's actually kind of interesting. I think that's kind of cool. Let's see, nothing under selling points, but under greenhouses, we scroll all the way down. You will see right here, we have the small glass greenhouse, the Dedelow X4 In GDR mod. So again, mod specific to this map. Then we go under animals. There's nothing under cows, nothing under pigs. Oops, sorry, nothing under horses, nothing under pigs, but under sheep right here, we have a mod specific to the map. And under chickens, scroll down all the way, you'll see not the old stent. There we go. The Dedelow X4 In GDR. So this is a mod specific to this map. Nothing for bees or others. If we look under decorations, scroll all the way down. We do have a mod specific to this map under fences. Nothing under lights, but under others. Again, scrolling all the way down, you will see we have this. Nope. This. There it is. The ruin. This is a mod specific to this map. And then nothing under decorations. Then lastly, under landscaping, there is nothing under the painting swatches, trees, or plants. So for this map, I'm going to have to take a slightly different approach than what I normally do. Normally, I just start touring the map and showing everything off. The problem is that there are a ton of hidden away buy points on this map. So taking a look, you'll see down here in this corner, just this small corner right here, we've got 3 additional buy points right here. There are numerous within the town area right here. You can see each one of these are individual buy points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show off what the map looks like with everything bought, and it's going to look like this. And this way you can see a clear distinction between what it is that we have at the beginning versus if you were to buy everything. There's tons of hidden stuff on this map, but for the most part, a lot of them are like hidden houses where you got a sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger. Some of them do have like barns and pastures and stuff like that, but for the most part, they're really, really, really small. And because of that, it's going to be a multi-part video in order just to show everything the way I normally do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a list of all the purchasable plots that are on this map, and then I will go through and show I'll read off all the individual items that you can get with that purchase. So starting out with farmland number 51, you can get for $136,432 the PGR office, silo, liquid manure tank, another liquid manure tank, the large old cow shed, and there's 0 to start out with in the cow shed, but you can get up to 200. There's another large old cow shed. You start with 0 with 200. And actually 51 is right here on the map. You can see it right there. And then also on there is the Futtermenschenledge. It's a TMR production site at this particular location. And then farmland number 52, which is actually down here, you can purchase this one for $65,992. And on this property, you get a house, again, sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger, manure heap, 6 pigsties. You have 0 pigs in all of them. You can get up to 50 in each of them. And 2 liquid manure tanks. That's everything for the farmland number 52. Then on farmland number 54, which is over, let's see, 54 is right over here. This little property right here. 54 is just a sheep pasture. And that is for $4,500, and you have room for 19 sheep. 55, which is right next door, is worth $880, and it's just a kind of bale and pallet storage area. Next to that is the farmland number 56. So that, where was that at? 56 being right here. You can purchase that for $324, and that's just a fertilizer silo. 57 over here, that is the, well, this is another production point. This is the experimental facility Dedelow and a greenhouse. So this one here, the experimental facility, is something I'm going to purchase because you'll see that this one's actually kind of important. So we do have two specific production points. And again, the large greenhouse and then the experimental Dedelow, which I can't click on right now. But we'll show that off here in just a little bit. Let's see. Next, and actually, I'll show it off right here. Now it's on the experimental. This one is basically the BGA biogas with just slurry. So you just take slurry, you get digested out, and you also produce methane as well. So that's basically what this one is. Whoops, let's go back here. Let's see, farmland number 58, that is worth $12,052, and that is a chicken barn that is has room for 3,500 chickens. 59 is worth $7,635. That is a pig pasture, and that has room for 20 pigs and a manure heap, as well as a food steamer Fortschritt E60. That is a pig feed maker, and is a production point. And there's a house on that property as well. Number 60 is worth $2,108, and that is just a house, a sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger. 61 is a house and a chicken coop with room for 20 chickens. 62 is $11,736, and that is a house. 63 is worth $2,148, and that is a house and a pig barn with room for 20 pigs. 64 is worth $6,624, and that is a cow pasture with room for 15 cows. 65 is worth $2,644, and that is just a house. 66 is worth $1,868, and that is a house and an old German storage cellar, which is essentially a silo. 70 is worth $424, and that's a greenhouse. 76 is worth $6,899, and that is a house. 77 is worth $5,928 as a house and 2 chicken pastures with room for 20 chickens. 78 is worth $5,116, and that is a house and another 2 chicken pastures, again, both with room for 20 chickens each. 81 is worth $8,772, and that is the Culk Productions, and that's just a lime production point. 86 is worth $6,908, and that's a liquid manure tank. 87 is $10,431, and that is a house. And 91 is $1,636, that's a house and a pig barn with room for 20 pigs. So all that being said, there's tons and tons and tons of stuff on this map. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off all the current highlighted items with the exception of Farmland 57, which I bought earlier, which let me see if I can go ahead and just remove that by selling that real quick. Nope, it's got placeables on it, so I can't sell it. So that's all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off everything on the map, and on top of that, I'm going to show the 2 additional large farms on this map. Everything else we're just going to leave hidden so we can kind of get through the rest of this map tour. All right, so we start out here kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so we're going to actually jet out over in this direction because down here is where your, again, we're going to call it our starting farm. It's not your starting farm per se. So based on some of the kind of research I was doing for this map. Essentially, what this map is, based on what I think I've found, it could be completely wrong, but GDR, which is a part of the map name, GDR, I believe, is the German Democratic Republic, and it's kind of like the remnants of like old Germany and like World War II Germany, I think. And what makes me kind of think that is one of the sell points and its naming convention. I'll kind of point that out later as to what kind of leads me down the road of thinking that this is what it is. So this is your main starting farm. And actually, let me fast forward and put in some money here real quick. It's already so hard to see on this map, so might as well go ahead and show it off. And you can see the shades are turned like way down, so putting it on until about 11 o'clock, kind of brightens it up just a little bit. But we'll start out on the main farm over here, and then we'll show off all of our starting equipment here. So if we start here and scroll down to our starting equipment, we have chairs. That's it. 3 lizard chairs, nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. So over here is the shop trigger. Now you can see exactly why I'm saying this is starting farm, but kind of humming and hawing. This is like the the farm area. You do own this property, but it's not set up like an actual farm. And the reason that I believe this is not set up like an actual farm is I believe what this is supposed to represent is a state-owned farm, meaning that the government owns this, not a individual. Hence the reason why later I'm going to kind of point something else as well out. But shop trigger right here. And actually, gonna buy a vehicle because that will just make walking around so much faster. And let's go ahead and get a little modern. Okay. All right, and over here we have a sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger, we have a fuel tank right here, and around here a silo. And that's it. That's all you get here at the main starting farm. So let's go ahead and head out of here and start going around the rest of this map. And let's go ahead and turn down the cruise control so we can... There we go. Oh, and these posts, as you see, do have collisions on them, so more than likely we're going to be hitting them all throughout this tour, but we'll see. You can see absolutely massive fields in parts of this map. It is absolutely huge. But it is a 4X map, so you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff. So as we continue down the road... Coming up here. Whoops. Ooh, just barely necked that. Let's see. It's hard. Nope, there it is. There's the road. There's the turn. Very hard to see it. It does kind of blend. As we continue to head off in this direction. Cutting through the woods. This little 2-track area back here. tucked away way, way, way back here. You can just see how this just kind of cuts through a lot of the fields in this part of the map. You can just see the nice sways and undulations of the terrain as we continue to cut through, like out in the countryside here. All right, now coming up over here, open this up. This is the wood sales sell point right here with a wood sell trigger right there. And I believe it's over here actually. Open the gate. Oh, open this gate. There it is. Tucked way back here is AI helper Noah. Now, something I want to show off over here. This is one of the buyable plots of land and our house. Yeah. We have a house right here on this land. Farmland number 66, we'll just buy it just to show off that I'm not going crazy. It is a sleep trigger. It is a wardrobe trigger inside of the toilet. It's... Oh, yeah. That is a thing. That is a thing on Farming Simulator 25 now. Alright, so cutting back, we have to backtrack all that way, going back towards the main starting farm. And this way we're going to go a lot faster than what we did coming out here. As we continue to backtrack. All the way back to that main stretch of road. All right. Oops, now we got to avoid those posts again. When we were back there, all we had to do was avoid the trees. Now we got to avoid all these posts. So coming up here. Whoa, 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 avoid the posts, avoid the posts. All right. So now we're going to start slowing back down because this is all new again. So now tucked away over here. Let's see, right back here. Open this gate here. And now to my left is AI helper Katie. And over here is the animal dealer. Now, if you want to purchase animals for any pens and pastures you have placed down on the map, you can come to this location, and using this icon, you can purchase your animals directly, just like so. And if you purchase them using this icon, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. The animal dealer is taking the animals from this location and delivering them across the map to any pens and pastures you have placed down. Now, for an adult cow, for reference, it's an extra $100 per adult cow plus the base price. So that adds up really, really quickly. Depending on the number of cows or number of animals that you buy, it might be cheaper to bring over an animal trailer. Now, to do that, you bring an animal trailer to this location, park it in this rough area about here, and then use this animal dialog box. Instead of it trying to load the animal into your pens and pastures around the map, it'll load it into the animal trailer. You can then deliver the animals to the pens and pastures, and you'll be good to go and save that delivery fee. So we'll get spun around. And now cross the street back here. This over here is going to be farm number 2. So much larger facility. And again, I think another example of one of the government-owned farms. So if we take a look at the map, we started out roughly about here, ran down over to our main starting farm area here. We saw the shop trigger, repair trigger, the kind of sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger, the fuel tank, and the farm silo right here. We then came down all the way over here, up and around, out to here. We saw the wood cell area, as well as the AI helper Noah. We then, we also showed off this little area here, just because there's a toilet with a sleep trigger, and I just find that funny for some reason. We then backtracked all the way out towards the main road over here, went back up into town, and passed by over here. We saw AI helper Katie as well as the animal dealer. We then came across the street over to farmland number 52. Can purchase this for $65,992. Go ahead and do that, and you get all these pop-ups. And we have another sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger right there. Tucked away around the backside over here. Got a bunch of storage right here. Over here, a couple of liquid manure tanks, aka slurry storage. And to my right, we have a bunch of pig barns, 6 of them in total. Each of them kind of, not even kind of, they are the exact same barn. So tucked away in here, we have our slurry output right here. Feed can go in right here. And over here, we have the input for the pigs themselves. Again, each of them holds 50, but each one of these are identical, exactly the same. Then off to the left, we have a manure heap right over there. Now coming out the side entrance over here. Open up this gate here. Tucked around over here, we have the warehouse buy point. This is where you can buy all your palleted goods. Open that up. Back to the main road. And now tucked away way, way, way over here. Actually, no, before I do that, I'm going to stop right here. We have a little restaurant that's kind of just decoration at this location, but these are the chairs that I was talking about. So you can see we can utilize them. We can sit here. So you can come over and sit at the restaurant if you so choose. You can also sit by the lake because one's set up right by the lake. Now over here, stop right there. Way off in the distance over there, that's AI helper David right there. And now we have to go way, way off towards the eastern portion of the map to see our next point of interest. So again, while we're driving out there and it's new, we'll cap the speed so you can take in all the sights and enjoy what you're seeing. But you can just see how it just feels like you're on this like pretty steady incline going out towards the northwest portion of the map, surrounded by trees, a little bit of kind of wildflowers, little pink flowers that are kind of lining the roadsides. Just continuing on. Oops, 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 oops. I missed my turn. Very easy to miss turns on this map. Very easy. There we go. Going down this little side road. Crossing the tracks. And then starting out over here. Right here in front of me, we have the Grain Pool East, which is a train silo. So you got your input and output for the train silo right here for your kind of carts and trailers. Rent train trigger right here. And then over here, you have your input for your train and output as well right there. As you can see, the texture is a little bit rough for this small car. Every once in a while, you will kind of hit these little bumps. Now, tucked away over here, pull in here, this right here is the VEB Combine Grain Industry sell point. Now, this is what kind of leads me to think that the GDR, as I was talking about before, is the German Democratic Republic, that this is kind of remnants of old, like, socialist Germany and all that stuff, is that specific combination of letters, VEB. So what that stands for is Volkswagen Gut, which stands for the People's Owned Oh, hey, easy. Less reading, more driving. The People's Owned Property or Public Owned Estate, which was abbreviated by VEG, which was a state-owned farm in the German Democratic Republic. Which is kind of, which is why I think that this is kind of like the old remnants of, like, you know, the socialist Germany, you know, back around, you know, World War II days and all that stuff. I believe this is like back in the 60s is when these were like really starting to, like, not crop up, but were like really in effect. I'm sorry, I said the 60s. I meant the 40s. I think that they were kind of in their effect in the 40s, kind of carried on into the 60s. And then kind of waned after World War II kind of thing. Again, based on my research, could become 100% wrong. You know, just a quick kind of Google search based on some of the words and letters I was seeing. All right, so coming up here to my left, let's pull up a little bit more. There we go. This is the supermarket sell point. Oops, and I got to turn right here. Forgot about that. And then tucked away back here, we have the gas station right here, as well as a repair trigger right here. Now, because I don't have a vehicle that can take gas, then it's not going to pop up with anything, so. Now, continuing on in this direction. You can see a lot of these properties and stuff that you can be purchased. I mean, they're all just completely strewn about all throughout this whole area here. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in this map in the background. But again, I'm afraid that if I were to show off each of these as I'm doing right now, that this would be turned into a too long to show video, and it would have to be broken up into multiple parts. All right, so coming up here, we have the third farm. So let's pull up right here, and we'll stop. So we left off over here on farm number 2. We then came out around to the warehouse buy point over here. We then came up the road. We saw AI helper David over here. Wait a minute. Yeah. The AI helper David. Then we came all the way out to here, up this road, over to the Grain Pool East, the train station silo right here, as well as the VEB Combine Grain Industry. We then backtracked all the way out to this area here. We saw the supermarket sell point, as well as the gas station and the repair trigger. And we came up and around up to here to farmland number 51, $136,432. We'll go ahead and purchase, and you can see all this stuff pops up. Go and open the gate. Go through the little trench right there. We've got another sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger right there. All the way down here, this is the Futter Michelin. The TMR production. TMR production is what this is. Input here. Output here. And production point right there. As you can see, we can make our, with silage, hay, mineral feed, and straw, we can put in and make our total mixed ration. And let me get turned around over here. Over here, we have a cow barn. As you can see, pretty massive. We got our milk point right here. We'll come around this side over here. We got our input for our animals right here. We got a manure heap right over here. Now I believe, open this door here, feed in here. Let's see, and turn around for slurry right there. Again, same cow barn, kind of built in reverse, so got another manure plate right there and all the other kind of stuff as well. We got a couple of slurry tanks right over here, a little slurry storage, and a fuel tank right over here. And then over here, our silo right here. And as you can see, this is technically a production of our silage. We can make silage using this, and you can use it to make from chaff, grass, and hay to make your silage. So input is here. And let's see, where was the output? I forget. It's right over here. There it is. There's an output right there. Oops. Easy. And then right in front of me are a bunch of bunker silos. So we'll just cross over here and head out. And now we need to follow this all the way up towards the northeast. Let's go ahead and slow back down and take in the sights. You can see just how massive it gets up here. And almost, I don't want to say barren because it's not empty. It's just, it's fields. It's wide open fields. So you've got a huge distance to look at in the background in any direction. I mean, just feels so expansive. So as we continue to head off in this direction, you're starting to see all those things pop up in the background. That's our next set of interests. All right, now tucked away all the way back here. AI helper Ben, right there. And in here, in this building, we have the straw sail Schroeder sell point. Get turned around once again. Milk ramp sell point right here. You can see A helper Walter behind that building to the right. Turn around once again. And now, gonna go and check out our last point of interest. Gonna jet back this time. As we continue to head, rocketing in this direction. Ooh, we better slow down. There we go. Heading back past this third farm right here to my right. Oh, hey, there's a pole. Now continuing back across the tracks. And then coming up here, follow this off to the right. And then to the left. As this kind of goes through the back woods area over here, just outside the outskirts of town. We stop. Over here, way off in the distance on that platform over there, you can see that is another rent train trigger right there. And then our last point of interest is just down the road in this direction. Tucked away over here, this is the manure buy point right off to my right. And that is it. That is everything here on the map. Now it's time to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. I really like this map. I really like this map. So color palette is really nice. I like it, but comes with a little proviso. It's really dark on this map. I feel like this map just seems really kind of dark and almost dingy. And I'm not necessarily saying that as to be bad, but it is just overwhelmingly dark. So it's one of those where if your brightness settings are set too low, might get a little bit difficult to see at times. But there's so much going on in this map, so much detail that's happening here. The terrain and undulations are excellent. I think they're very nice and nice rolling effects to where you can look off in any direction. You can see very expansive areas, but you also get just the nice kind of waves of the countryside here. It's very nice. The only thing that I'm not crazy about on this map is all of the hidden farmlands that have something on them. It makes it to where if there weren't people out there doing map tours and kind of showing off everything in for you, you're going to have to basically hunt and peck to find out what's what. kind of thing. So it's just one of those where it just seems kind of, ooh, unnecessary, quote unquote. But again, I really, really like this map. Those are kind of the only complaints I have about this map. Besides that, I think it's fantastic. There's so much stuff going on here. There's a bit of history kind of laced into it, as best as I can tell. Again, my research could be completely flawed, but I believe that's what the GDR and the VEB stand for. As I mentioned before, I think these are just kind of like the remnants of like socialist, Germany and all that. So it just makes sense. I mean, you got all the kind of block apartments and block, well, I mean, more apartments over here, but it's all kind of built the same. It's all kind of squared off. The supermarket right here is, again, very blocky, and it's very much, and also seeing the line of people is not too encouraging either. But yeah, no, it's just one of those. I think this is kind of from from the days of post World War II, and kind of remnants of the socialism that was there in Germany. It's interesting. It's very interesting. It's supposed to take place in the 80s according to the description. So yeah, it's just it's a very interesting kind of style of map. So I don't know. I'm kind of on board with it. It's a beautiful map all by itself, and then kind of the little additional little history nugget on top of it. You get these long corridors of treed like lanes that you get, and again, I like that. I like the kind of green canopy, the tunneling that is created here. And you can see how it kind of blocks off the big expansive areas in any direction because of all these trees. The wildflowers around, you basically get pinks. That's basically the only color that I've been able to find that really kind of stands out. Let me get turned around here because I'm thinking I'm going to hit a wall soon. But yeah, I like it. I think this is a really, really nice map. And it's huge. It's huge. I mean, it being a 4X map, you got so much stuff that you can do, and the fields are incredibly large. That one field that I saw earlier, that was like 16 million or something, I think it was this one here, $14 million for 433 acres. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. That's a lot of acreage. And yeah, you got something to really save and scrimp and build up towards, to buy it and to make it something, to make it your own, basically, is what it all boiled down to. But what would I give this one? 0 to 5 scale? I'd probably give this a 4.5. I think this is kind of a nice looking map. Yeah, 4.5 out of 5. I like it. I think it's a pretty cool one. But I hope you enjoyed this map tour, and if you did, please show them about liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. The shows you're engaged with the channel and enjoying the content. That being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care.